Peanut, we're live. Peanut, we're live. We're live in the live stream, Peanut. It's a live stream. You want to say hi? You want to say hi in the live stream? You want to say hi? I gotta finish setting up because I don't do that before the live stream because that's what a professional would do. And I'm not a professional, so we're not gonna have any of that here. I hadn't even started my backup recording yet. I have now, but I didn't before doing this. My cords are tangled. This is not what professionalism looks like, but that's okay. We don't need professionalism. We just need to be here, doing our best. Ugh, why is the cord all the way over there? I'm sorry, Ken. Hold on. Excuse this. You gotta put your paw down. Peanut. 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 Peanut, baby. Everything's great. We'll get cats, they said. It'll be great, they said. No, cats are great. Not so much when I'm allergic to them. That kind of sucks. But what are you stuck on? Where is your life? Where do you go? God, this cord is all twisted and everything. I don't even like this cord. All right. I think that'll do it. It's a live stream, and I got some comments that I can read. You will know about God when you need him. In desperation, you honestly turn to him. God doesn't give you what you want. He always gives you what you need for you to grow. If you say so. I'm sure there's plenty of people who have prayed and not gotten what they need, and plenty of people who have not prayed and gotten what they need. I would just need a little bit more data to back that up. Christian, non-Christian, God is there no matter what. God is there no matter what. You can't prove anything either. I can't prove that there's not a God, and I'm not seeking to. I'm simply pointing out that we have no reason to believe that there is. So why should we believe it? We need to disprove something that hasn't even been proven. Hello. I am in Kansas. God is not science. No man will know. It's about faith. Faith is an unreliable path to the truth, because you can plug it into literally anything. It's what you plug in when you don't have any actual reason to believe something. And it doesn't get you anywhere. Science, evidence. That's what gets us to truth, to understanding the world around us. What do you think happens when we die? I think, well, my favorite answer is a lot of things happen after we die. They just don't involve us. I think that's my favorite answer. I really like that answer. But I don't, that's not what people are asking when they ask that question. They're asking, where do we go? What happens to us? Especially if there is no God, what happens there? That's what they're really asking. And to that, kitten. Got the other kitten now. To that, I say, I don't know what happens after we die, but if there is no God or afterlife or anything, then it would seem that consciousness, our usness, is just a product of chemical reactions in the brain. And when we die, those chemical reactions just kind of stop. So our thoughts, feelings, emotions, feelings and emotions, very distinct difference. Our thoughts, feelings, memories, consciousness are what we might call us, just kind of stops, just kind of goes away, and we essentially cease to exist. And then what's left of us, our bodies and stuff, decompose and rejoin the cycle. Are you spiritual at all, or are you a naturalist? I am not spiritual. I'm much more of a naturalist. I don't believe in anything supernatural, just for lack of reason. It is important to remember that our very existence is because God willed us to exist. Prove it. Whatever we pray for will only happen if it falls within God's will, which is why we don't just get everything we pray for. And that's fine. But first off, prove it. And second off, that's a video of me describing how prayer... There's arguments where if you pray and you don't get what you want, then that doesn't mean that there isn't a God. It just means that God's answer is like not now or no. And if you pray and get what you want, then that's because it's God. Just like if you walk away from the faith and have a better life, that's because Satan is making things comfortable for you. If you walk away from the faith and have a worse life, it's because God is making it worse because you made the wrong decision. It's the heads I win, tails you lose types of arguments that I was referring to in that video. Drew has a cute face. I don't necessarily agree, but you know. You and your sister need to stop knocking things over. One of you already peed on the floor over there. You're already on my list. I don't know which one was it. I'm gonna need you to stop knocking my stuff over. Oh yeah, she took your spot. It's okay. Drew in his house. Drew is in his house. What do you think consciousness is? Is it emergent or is it fundamental? It seems to me like consciousness is just a result of chemical reactions in the brain, so emergent from the brain. Hello, my love. Your phone's gonna die. You should not be on the live stream, Taylor. Science will always win over religion. Every religion was created by a man, and people just blindly followed it. Kind of seems like that. I mean, I wouldn't say it was so much confidence because we don't know these things, but like, yeah. There seems to be a pattern throughout history of science kind of doing better lifting than religion. But who knows? Maybe God will show up and prove it all wrong. I charged it at customer service. We E40'd some super fast charger, now it's at 57. Well, good. Makes me happy. Were you ever religious? I was a devout Christian for most of my life. Was dedicated to the Christian faith. Prayed throughout the day, all throughout the day. Not, not like constantly, but like throughout the day. Just trying to make sure my steps aligned with what God wanted, God's will and God's path. I thought I had a good relationship with God, and that He was sending me signs and whatnot, guiding my path and all this stuff. So yes, I was a devout Christian once upon a time. Like 9 years ago. Hey, handsome. Hi. I don't know who you're talking to, but, I'll say hi. Mormon? I was not a Mormon. I was actually raised Catholic. Which, by some people's measurements, it's only slightly better than Mormon. You silly, you're cute. I don't know many things about myself. You're talking to my worst critic. I will not sit here and compliment myself. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I can get some more light up in here. I'm a little dark. There we go. It doesn't really help, but it kind of does. What's your stance on the movie Cool Runnings? I don't know that movie. And I'm back to the arguments about slavery versus indentured servitude, which I read one of the last times. The end times are coming. The end times are coming. Have you seen the signs of the times? You know, the signs of the times that have been signing for like 2,000 years, and like every generation people are like, hey, these are the signs of the times, and then the next generation is just like, no, those weren't the signs of the times, these are the signs of the times. And it's just like, Jesus is coming, it's going to be any day now, it's going to be in our generation, and then he doesn't, and then he has done that, or rather not done that, for 2,000 years. But he's coming. You know, it's going to be soon. It's going to be soon. It wasn't soon 2,000 years ago, or, you know, 1,500 years ago, or 1,000 years ago, or 500 years ago, or 50 years ago, but like it's going to be soon this time. It's going to be in our lifetime this time. Just relax and don't worry about things? Nah. I just held up my hand to show my ring. I had a customer ask how old I was and then asked if I was single. Don't you love it? Don't try to flirt with people. Don't try to flirt with the cashiers. They're trapped behind a thing or trapped at their station, forced to be nice to you. It's not a time to have a good, authentic conversation with someone. And stop with the self-deprecating. You are very cute. No. Don't think too much, you cute. I think. See, you're saying, like, relax and don't worry. And you're saying, like, don't think too much. I have ADHD and anxiety, so it's just not going to happen. Hi, kitten. All 3 of the kittens I've had in the live so far, and it's only been 12 minutes. I got all the kitties. I got all the kitties on the couch with me. All the kittens. Atheists do not worship Satan. Don't even believe that he exists. It's not a thing in our wheelhouse. You will find. They really question. The question we really need to be asking is when you're launching that OnlyFans. Nah. If money ever gets tight enough, maybe. You know. Money's money. You know. I got a family to provide for. But so far, no, we're not there yet. It's always refreshing when I see people like, when I talk about pushing back against Christian nationalism, and I see Christians in the comment section agreeing with me and pushing back with me, because I know they're out there. I know there are Christians out there who are fighting right alongside us, and I love that, because there are some religions, or there are some Christians who are I talk about Christian nationalism. People will say, "Oh, that's not real Christianity. That's an insult to Christianity." Fucking do something about it then. Fucking help us, and help us push back against it. Just sit there. Look, they're doing Christianity wrong, and they're taking over the country. At $10, $10. If I'm gonna do an OnlyFans, it's gonna have to be worth it. It's It's gonna have to bring in that good money that'll really take care of my family. Christian nationalism is not Christianity, because in true Christianity, you love everyone equally, not just your own people first. You know I'm told that. You know I'm told that. I'm told all the loving aspects of Christianity. Christ says to love everyone, but like, I don't see it in Christianity. I see a lot of bigotry, a lot of bias, a lot of discrimination coming out of Christianity. But you know, whatever. Are there any spiritual practices that call to you, like walks or meditation or magic mushrooms? We took a jump. I like meditating. I actually do. It's calming, helps with my anxiety and stuff. Helps me fall asleep at night. I literally, and like I don't say that to be insulting to meditation. Like, oh, it's so boring, you fall asleep. No, I actually use it at night to help calm myself down and relax myself so that I can fall asleep. Because I've had a lot of times throughout my life where I have not been able to fall asleep easily at all, and it's been awful. But I've been doing really well lately. Like, I can lay down and fall asleep within like 5 minutes. It's great. I love it. Now, if only I can. Once we hit like, I usually wake up a little after midnight because I usually go to bed a little bit earlier, and then like at 5, I'm just like awake. Like, I keep just waking up and stuff. It's pretty annoying. But meditation is great. Favorite food? Pastas. And I know that's a pretty broad answer, but like, pasta in multiple different forms. Love pasta. It's great. If I had to pick a favorite pasta, probably chicken Alfredo of sorts. Probably. Kitten. Blasphemer. Oh no. Oh, comfort foods. Some pastas fall under comfort foods. I don't really know the general definition of comfort foods. I feel like it changes per person. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. I love ice cream. Love ice cream. Ice cream is great. That's one of the things I'll eat. Why won't you answer me? What's up? Why won't you answer me? I just got 2 chats from you that says, what's up and why won't you answer me? So, hi. Barry, you should probably get that checked out. Probably. As people say, like, you're blaspheming, you're sinning, all this stuff. You better watch out. You're gonna go to hell. But none of those warnings mean anything to me. I will honestly say. Not really something I care too much about. Bro looks zesty. I don't think so. Can I pay you $60 an hour to be my master teacher? Maybe. That's what everyone keeps telling you. I mean, listen. Are your parents religious? Yes. My parents are Catholic. Pretty much everyone I knew growing up, friends and family, has been Christian of sorts, mostly Catholic. How's it going? What's the direction of the channel? Atheism versus theism. Christianity versus atheism. Whatever else. I just want to hug and pet your head. No, I don't like being touched. Something went wrong. Don't do that. What are your thoughts on... What are their thoughts on your deconversion? They're pretty respectful. They've voiced... I've been very open and, like, outspoken about where I stand now, like, on Facebook and whatnot in the past. So I think most of my friends and family kind of just know where I stand and just don't kind of just don't bother to talk to me about much. But, you know, my parents, they disagree with it. And they would like me to come back to Christianity of sorts. You know, they're like, doesn't even have to be Catholic. Like, just go to church. You can find another church somewhere else. I do this with me and my sister, mostly my sister. Try to get her to go find another church. You know, if you don't like this church, go find another one. It's like, it's not the church. It's the issue, you know. But they would love us to come back to the fold, but we will not. And my mom's, like, expressed concerns in the past of, like, you know, I'll always wonder if it's, like, something that I did. Whether it was or it wasn't, it's a good thing that I left Christianity. I'm much better and happier outside of Christianity. So it's like, I feel bad for her because she, and most religious parents, well, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of religious parents do this, where it's like, I feel like I failed as a parent. No. If your kid's out there living a better life, happier and better off and healthier without your religion, you did fine, at least in that aspect. You like turtles? Turtles are pretty cool. Anyone who makes my master teacher mad makes me mad. I will protect my master at all costs. I like a turtle humor. Turtles are cute. Why should a man pay child support for a kid he doesn't want, but a woman can abort a kid she doesn't want? Why should a man pay child support for a kid he doesn't want, but a woman can abort a kid she doesn't want? Well, in one of those, there is a kid, and in one of those, there's not a kid. If there's a kid that's born, both parents should be supporting it in some way, shape, form, or capacity. If there's not, then no child support is needed from any of them. I don't see abortion necessarily as aborting a kid. I feel like it aborts it before, a couple steps before we get to kid. But women also have that right, I feel like, bodily autonomy, the right over their own bodies. Did you find Catholic teaching practices was worse or better for your ADHD and anxiety? Probably worse. Probably worse. Especially, and it might not even just be like specifically Catholic teachings, just like overall Christian teachings. If you know, Satan's always out to get you. There's always demons out to get you. That's not fun. I have same-sex attraction. I'm pansexual. I was taught in school that I was taught a few things against, you know, why you shouldn't be homosexual or why same-sex attraction is bad. But one of them was same-sex attraction is Satan whispering in your ear, trying to tear you away from God. That's fun. That's great. That's what a kid needs to hear. That's not gonna like traumatize them or like scare them or increase their anxiety or anything. You know, it's whatever. So yeah, uh, Christianity was definitely bad for my mental health. Why did you leave the Roman Church? I initially left Catholicism because I did not think that it upheld trying to think of what essentially my interpretation of Christianity. I read the Gospels. I read what Jesus said. I read the Bible, read what the Bible said, and I didn't feel like Catholicism was quite it. It was also the first step in my deconstruction. So it was kind of, at that stage, I kind of followed this idea of an all-loving, all-good God out the door, kind of followed that out the door. It's like Jesus is like wonderful and great, and Catholicism isn't. So clearly Catholicism ain't it. So I spent some time as a non-denominational Christian. Nowadays, I don't really think Jesus' teachings were that great either. But, you know, at the time, what got me away from Catholicism and taking my first step to non-denominational Christianity was just disagreements with what I thought Christianity should be versus what Catholicism was. And then later on down the line, I dumped Christianity and just became a theist, and then eventually an atheist. Can a man terminate his parental rights? I did not know that. Let me tell you something, young man. There is more to life than being happy all the time. I mean, I know that. I'm not happy all the time. Hi, Doom. Because I should specify, I am better and happier now that I've left Christianity. But I do have depression and trauma and stuff. So I say happiness, but my definition isn't quite the same as everybody else's. I'm not happy very often, but I was even less happy as a Christian, if you can imagine that. Because I get people saying, like, you know, you say you're so much better off now that you've left Christianity, but it doesn't really seem like it. You still seem like depression and whatnot. Yeah. You can imagine how dark things were when I was still a Christian. If you still think I look depressed and stuff now, oh boy. The dark places I was in when I was younger. This is great compared to that. Even if happiness is still kind of, you know, those centers of my brain just are just kind of burned out. They just kind of don't really work. What can you do? Happiness is just kind of a weird concept. I did have a change of heart when it came to religion. Recently encountered yesterday what I thought was theist equivalent to you, spent a bit debating atheism before I found out they were a cult leader. Not the same. Damn, I hope I'm not due. I don't know what it says about me that you were talking to them and initially like, this guy reminds me of Drew. And then he turns out to be a cult leader. Why atheist and not agnostic? I'm an agnostic atheist. Those are two separate categories. Gnosticism and agnosticism are claims of knowledge, while theism and atheism are claims of belief. I don't hold the belief in a God, but I don't claim to know whether or not there is one, so I am an agnostic atheist. Just like most theists believe in a God, so they're theists, and they also claim to know that there is a God, meaning Gnostic theist. Just word games, definitions, doesn't really matter. And there's a lot of disagreement and arguments about it, but I am someone who doesn't believe that there is a God, but I have no idea if there is one or not. I just don't have reason to believe that there is. And a lot of atheists you'll find are like that. Your intuition about the Roman Church is spot on. Have you looked into Orthodox Christianity? I've looked into a couple. I really haven't studied like the differences in the different denominations as much as I should. I need to just overall. but I haven't really gotten there yet. Am I omnistic? I don't know what that word means. What's omnistic? He is. Faster you find, the better. Oh, who are we talking about? What are we talking about? Not Jesus. Jesus came to show you how to pray to God. Jesus is not God. Okay. So you got your interpretations of Christianity. I'm going to let you know what's great about America is you can believe in whatever best suits your faith. Sure. Doesn't make it true. There is one God. Sure. Yeshua walked this earth, geek. Sure. Why should I believe that? Honestly, they weren't really that close at all. Incredibly bad faith. But the style was like an evil, polar opposite version of you, which is why I was reminded. Interesting. Like a dark Drew. Religion as a whole is a giant scam. It's, you know... I don't know if scam would be the word I would use, because that implies intention, like knowledge that it is a scam, and knowingly making it a scam, which some cults and religious groups are. But overall, religion is like a scam that doesn't have a scammer. It's like you're all just getting scammed, and then you scam others to get scammed because you think the scam is real because you've been scammed by nothing. You've been scammed because, 200,000 years ago, a person said, I don't know what this is, therefore it must be God. And we kind of just passed that down, that's kind of snowballed into something more. And it's our problem now. Shroud of Turin. Tiny. What's tiny? Shroud of Turin. There's a lot of back and forth with Shroud of Turin. Honestly, a little too much. It gets kind of annoying, like when I'm trying to do research on the Shroud of Turin, because it's just both sides with strict bias just yelling back and forth. Like, I'll find this article and I can tell it has this bias. Find this article, I can tell it has this bias. It's too popular an argument, and so it's all just muddied up. I don't really find any credibility in the Shroud of Turin. I don't really believe it's anything. I don't believe it's Jesus' burial shroud, or anything like that. But it's a highly debated bit of information. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. You ever just blah 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 blah. And you say Yeshua walked the earth. I have no real issue believing that there was a dude who made some claims, gained a following, and got executed. That's not really anything too incredible. It's happened before. But I have no reason to believe that he was anything divine or magical or anything. What convinced you that Christianity specifically wasn't true? I wouldn't say I'm convinced that Christianity isn't true. Just found out that there's no reason to believe that it is true. So I lost my faith in it, my belief in it that way. Slowly but surely over the course of about 7 years. My deconstruction from Catholic to non-denominational to theist to atheist was about 7 years. And it was just realizing, well, it was really diving into my studies because I wanted to become an apologist. I was a devout Christian. I wanted to spread God's light, love, and message as far as I could, to the whole world if I could. And when I was in high school, I took a class on Christian apologetics. And in that class, I found out that I am not prepared for this task. I am not, if you put me on a debate stage against any atheist who knows what they're talking about, I would get absolutely demolished. So I'm like, I can't have that, because I need to be here to represent God and spread God and whatnot. So I dove into my studies. Church history, scripture, other religions, their scriptures, histories, scientific explanations for things, arguments for and against the existence of a God. Pretty much, I tried to be just kind of whatever you would see on an atheist versus theist debate stage. And I don't want to say this as a blanket statement, but for me and for a lot of other people, when you really take a closer look like that, when you really start to study and look closer, you kind of end up seeing the man behind the curtain. You see kind of what's really happening behind the scenes. And you really start to see that there's really no reason to believe in any of these divine supernatural claims. And so things like religions and gods and whatnot really start to lose their credibility. So that's really what got me away from the faith, was just diving into my studies to try to strengthen and better be able to defend my faith. Tell the Greek, Hindus, Buddhists, and Egyptians, and many other religious groups that there is only one God. And make sure you tell them that you have the right one. God is real. Why should I believe that? I think Hindus only believe in one God, but he's got multiple aspects or manifestations. Yeah. More or less, yeah. I'm an atheist that could demolish you 1v1, I can tell. But I'll tell you, I appreciate your faith. Believe what makes you happy. I'm an ex-Christian, so I'm the worst one to debate. Believe what you want, and I'll respect you. I'm an atheist. I know you kind of joined while I was like giving my backstory. I'm an atheist. I spend my time speaking out against Christianity on this and other platforms. So look up Jay Dyer tag. I've looked up Jay Dyer and I've looked up tag. I don't think I've looked up specifically his tag argument. Not the most compelling, God gives you free will, but you use free will against God's wishes and you're condemned to burn for eternity, and only wants you to worship him and him only. What a lovely character. Oh yeah. Abusive, manipulative individual. The relationship that we're called to have with God and the way that he treats us and views us and talks about us. If anybody else, if that was going on in a relationship with anybody else, everyone would agree that you need to get the fuck out of that relationship. But it's God, so we give an exception. Just like we give an exception when he commits genocide. It's fine. Or when he commands other people to commit genocide. It's fine. Because God did it. God's got it under control. It's great. Everything is great. Just don't pick up sticks on the Sabbath, or he'll kill you too. Don't turn against him, or he'll add your corpse to the mountain at his feet, to the mountain of corpse already at his feet. What's not compelling about logic, reason, and history? Connect those dots for me. Connect those dots with tag. Now again, I haven't seen Jay Dyer's specific video or anything about tag. So like if he connects those dots, I haven't seen it. So you would need to connect those dots to me and explain to me how we get there. Oh, where was I? I know you are a Christian, but do you ever consider opening up to others' beliefs? I'm an atheist. I just said that. I just said that. I'm an atheist. I just said that. And I was open to other people's beliefs. That's one of the things that got me out the door. I would have to say we are a depraved species. All the problems of the earth have come from us humans and still do. Yeah. We're kind of like a parasitic cancer upon the earth. We don't have to be, but we seem to like to be. And that's, is what did you just do? And, that just kind of is what it is. I can't in the chat, but he has many hours of Q&A and debates going through. Sure. I mean, I've looked at some of his videos. He's there. He could probably destroy me in a debate, but I don't know. I don't really find him compelling. Kind of seems like an arrogant prick sometimes. Jesus is the healing balm that mankind needs. I disagree. Yeah, AC, you're gonna see me dunking on all the atheists. You just wait. You just wait. Do you believe in demons? Why or why not? No, because I don't have any reason to. And I hate giving that answer. It's just like, why don't you believe in God? Why don't you believe in Jesus? Why don't you believe in demons, spirits, afterlife? I don't have any reason to. So I don't. How do I believe? How, without faith, am I supposed to believe in something I have no reason to believe? Because I'm not using faith. Faith is an unreliable path to the truth. It's what you plug in when you don't have any actual evidence or credible reason to believe in something. And it can be plugged into literally anything. I can have faith that this mouse is going to turn into a unicorn one day and carry me off to Valhalla. Mod me and I'll help you, Virgin Mary. I'm not really in the habit of modding random people in chat. Not really me. Do you have any addictions? Mild alcoholism in the past. Haven't had a drink in about 1.5 years now, so that's pretty cool. No, it's alright. Nothing like serious. I wouldn't compare myself to like the struggles of the people you would think about when you would think alcoholic, but did have some struggles and still kind of do, but haven't had a drink 1.5 years. Let's go. Congrats, man. It's alright. I could help you. I'm a mod for a bunch of channels. I'm not random. I don't know you. Just had an idea. It might be interesting to see you make a long-form video response to other theist influencers and videos they make. The good faith ones only. I don't know. Because I've thought about that. And I know a lot of atheists will do that, but it's just not my content. I don't know. And like, I would be more respectful than probably a lot of atheists you see responding to Christian influencers, but I don't know. It's not really, I don't really like to just bring people up and put them on blast like that, even if I'm doing it respectfully. I'll make videos about their arguments sometimes, or just general arguments in the sphere of the world, but I don't know. Maybe sometime in the future. Maybe part of it's just me being like a coward and still wanting to hide in the shadows, and not upset the people who probably know more than I do. But I honestly just, I don't know. Try to be a little bit more respectful than that, I guess. I'd be happy to have a discussion with any of those people. Alcoholism is a beast, and you never get to pick how far it's going to take you. I've detoxed a lot, and people in ICU, a lot of people in ICU, until they're medically cleared to go to rehab. Yeah, seriously, I'm a good dude, fully respectful. And I mean, you seem fine, but I don't know you. Is main focus of your channel live chats and videos about your beliefs, worldview, or counter apologetics? Is the main focus of your channel live chats and videos about your beliefs, worldviews, and counter apologetics? Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say that about sums up 99% of my content. Sometimes I post cat videos. I think if you approach it genuinely and earnestly, it can be a positive format, contrary to how it's often handled, where it's like a boxing match. Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. Definitely not off the table. That might just be one of those things that we add in just kind of like as we grow, as I get more comfortable and start doing more stuff. Just cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess. Blip, 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 blip. Blip, 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 blip. Everyone has had addictions, and they are caused by the devil. Prove it. I went to Agape Church in Arkansas and was mentally abused by Christians. I also have a cat. I played music for a living. Well, I'm glad you're away from that. The church, the cat and the music seems fine. I think you'll find that you underestimate yourself quite a lot. Oh, yeah, I do. And if you get schooled, that's a good thing. Maybe there's something to what they have to say. Oh, yeah. I like it when people bring up like challenging things that stump me in chat, because it's just like, hey, you didn't know this thing. So what do? Go and learn it. You don't quite know how seaworthy a vessel might be until you put it in the water sometimes and you find the holes. But you got to put it in the water and let those holes poke through so you can find them and patch them. So that's part of what I do when I'm on these live streams. I have looked like a dum-dum on some of these live streams, and I don't hate it. Obviously, I want to, look good or smart or whatever, but learning new experiences, new ideas, I'm all for. And I know I underestimate myself. I'm just my worst critic. You won't see me compliment myself or have, I guess you could say faith in myself, using it colloquially, very often at all. Just not me. Very much my own worst enemy. What'd you do? But what can you do? Hello. And goodbye. You can even ask my wife, Taylor. I'll end the live streams and I'll look at her and I'll be like, did I say anything coherent that entire live stream? Did I do good? Like all the time. Did I do good? Did I do a good job? Did it sound like I'm smart? Do I know anything? Learning sucks, nerd. I love learning. Learning is great. Some of my hobbies, this. Honestly, I've always been really passionate about religion. Hello. Even, back when I was still religious. And it's one thing that has kind of stuck with me. I've always been passionate about religion. I like talking about it. I like learning about it. I like studying it. I love all that stuff. So, yeah, like I don't listen to music in the car when I'm driving. I listen to an audiobook of the Bible, or a YouTuber that I like, or a debate or something like that. This is how I spend most of my free time, is just learning and studying Christianity mostly, and things of the like. Yeah, Taylor, every time. It's every time. Every time. Every time. Because I don't know how well I did. According to the Bible, the devil, according to the original Greek language, is that word. Why should I believe the Bible? Who's your favorite religious atheist YouTube channel? I really like Matt Dillahunty. I really like Believe It or Not, Trevor Pullman on Believe It or Not. His videos really helped me in my deconstruction. There's probably top two. So some other names, Forrest Valkai is a pretty good one. And a lot of the other people on the line, I really like watching them. I really love works of fiction that include religious supernatural elements. It's interesting to see the various interpretations and depictions. Supernatural is great on that front. Taylor used to watch Supernatural all the time, and I watched it a bit with her, back when we were dating. It was so long ago. Old. Taylor and I have been together for like fucking 13, 14 years now. Actually, shit, Taylor. Tomorrow's August 6th. So it'll be 14 years since we got back together and stayed together, because we broke up twice in like a year span. But yeah, tomorrow is August 6th. So we've been together nonstop for 14 years. Tomorrow. It's all right. It's all right. I think I might have a crush on her. You know, I might like her or something. I don't know. Oh damn! Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Have you checked out Britt Hartley? I don't think that name doesn't ring any bells to me. I can take a picture of it and maybe look at him later. The prefix dia means to penetrate through something. Balos means to throw a rock or ball at something over and over again. Okay. What the fuck's going on here? We're talking about fucking atheisms and theisms and the Jesuses and not Jesuses. Man. Me and Tyler and Joseph are definitely related. I don't know who that is. The TV show Supernatural was a big stepping stone that helped me out of religion. Yeah? Well, that's good. You're stoned? Always good. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Never really tried it. Really loved how they addressed the problem of evil. I'm sure they addressed a few things like that in the show. How does the devil work? I don't know if anybody asked, but he travels on a road to your mind. He throws thoughts into your mind over and over again. If you choose to act on those thoughts, eventually he will convince you you are something you're not. So why should I believe that the devil is real? How do I know that the devil is real? Because, like, I understand, you know, how the devil in Christianity works. You know, it's great and all, but, like, why should I believe any of that? Doom, I don't know what FTW means. Over time, this causes a stronghold to lead to addictions. Or addictions and mental illnesses and mental health issues have nothing to do with demons, and it's just psychology. And blaming it on demons diverts from the actual problem and can make it worse while you're sitting here trying to cast out demons when you should be going to see a therapist or getting medicine or getting some actual credible treatment for your issues. It can be really bad when people buy into the nonsense of, oh, it's the devil, it's demons. So we gotta you gotta pray more. Just pray more. Fucking, I had a friend in 7th or 8th grade, or both. Humanism for the win. Got it. Yes, humanism for the win. In like 7th or 8th grade, he wasn't good at math. Just didn't click, you know. And the American education system is kind of a one size fits most ish kind of system. So some people it just doesn't click, and it just didn't click with him. And he had to like come in before school and work with the teacher one-on-one, like, you know, extra tutoring and whatnot. And she would get upset with him because she's like, I can tell you're not taking your faith seriously. You're not like praying, going to church and whatnot, because if you were, the devil wouldn't be influencing your mind so much and making you bad at math. And that's not how anything fucking works. That doesn't help the situation. Teach me math. Don't tell me that if I pray, I'll suddenly be good at math. That's not how anything works. Just help me learn it in a better, different way. Did Jesus have mental illness? I'm gonna assume you don't believe so. Even Satan believes and trembles. Prove it. Want to know about Islam? Sure. I am near the end of the live, so, you know, might not get much in for this live, but, you know. The devil hates math because if you learn how to use it, you might get interested in science and stop believing. Oh, yeah. Wait, the devil hates math because if you learn how to use it, you might get interested in science and stop believing. That means he loves math. The devil, Satan loves. Don't you know that math and science are like the devil's doorway? Because the Bible says, lean not on your own understanding. Don't trust the ways of the world. Trust the ways of God. So, like, you get that science and that math and shit, and just it muddies the kids' brains and it tears them away from God. You know, with that logic and reasoning. It's a good cult tactic to keep people in the fold. It's one of those kind of built-in manipulation tools of like, hey, I know the shit doesn't make sense if you really think about it, so don't think about it. It's bad. Science, bad. Bad thoughts. Faith. Trusting God. Don't trust the world. Don't lean on your own understanding. Like, shut up. Eyes forward. Walk straight line. Eyes forward. Don't look over there. Well, he doesn't love math according to that teacher. Well, fair. That is fair. The devil likes with Mike Hunt. Mike Hunt kills demons. Okay, I don't know what that is. My mouse. It is interesting to think back sometimes. The stuff I used to believe. And the stuff I used to buy into. And the way I used to live my life and view the world. That's so different from it is now. It's crazy. You know? As a Christian, devout Christian, dedicated to God, thought I had a good relationship with him and was walking in his path, and now I'm an atheist. Don't believe in any of that shit. I've come out as non-binary and pansexual. I went from being pro-life to pro-choice. Did a 180 on quite a few stances. And I honestly kind of love it because it's the experience that it gives me. I've walked several miles in the shoes of some of the people I'm arguing with. I understand how belief works. I understand how faith works. I understand, what it's like to believe so strongly in Christianity and want to fight for it and defend it and to feel, the Holy Spirit working through you and all that stuff. I understand all of that. And I love that I get that understanding. I love that I can empathize with the people I'm conversing with and debating with so much better. As much as it sucks, as much as being raised like that sucks, but I'm definitely always been the type of person who I try to use my pain for something good, because there's been a bit of it, and I can't just sit on it. I can't just let it fester. I gotta help people, and I got a lot of pain and mental health issues, and using that can help people. So it works out. I can make something out of it. So that's the silver lining to my fucked up, war-torn brain. Jesus says, I still love you, yes, even you, Drew, speaking through JP. Even if you spit on my name, even if you curse me on your deathbed, I took the nails for you, I wore your shame. I absorbed your wrath. Not to control you, but to save you. Sounds like I'm still in good standing with Jesus then. So, like, if Christianity's real, I'm good to go. Oh, don't say Mike. Oh, that's funny. I apologize for saying that. I haven't walked into one of those in a minute. Damn. I'll have to give you that one. Who put that in? Harley? Harley, I haven't walked into one of those in a hot minute. I'll give you that one. Congratulations. It has been a minute. I've gotten really careful with those over the past couple of years. You nailed me. If my mom told me God was my dad to cover up her affair, I'd probably believe it too. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, shit, dude. If it was found out that Mary was with child and it wasn't something divine or whatever, she would have been murdered. The religious authority of the time would have murdered her. If she was found with child before she was married, she would have been murdered. And Joseph probably would have been murdered too. If they assumed that, he was the father. So, do what you can. Sure, make up something. I might even forgive. If that's all that Christianity boiled down to, was someone who was either raped or just did stuff outside of marriage they shouldn't have and got pregnant and had to make something up to avoid death, I could forgive it. Valid, I hope it worked out for her. Repent and believe on Jesus Christ who died and rose again for his people, those who believe in him. No. Empathy is an asset more than it is a curse. I agree. You built your world without me, so you had to decide I'm not real. Because if I am, that means you're not God. That's not how atheism works. That's not how atheists view the world. That is a classic straw man of, you just don't want to believe because, you'll be held accountable for your sins, or you can't be in charge if there's a God. So you just choose not to believe, and that's not, none of those steps are how that works. That's not why most atheists don't believe in a God, and belief isn't a choice. And I didn't choose to not believe in anything. Hello. I do think I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. It was a pretty good, chill, active stream. I liked it, so thank you all so much for being here. I always appreciate it when anyone gives me even a second of their time. I'm a random nobody on the internet. So anyone even giving me a second, but, people staying, chatting, liking, whatever, it means a lot to me. Subscribing, sticking around, it means a lot. So thank you so much. I'm usually live every Tuesday night at around 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I try to do extra live streams throughout the week when I have time. But sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But yeah, maybe I'll see you around. So have a wonderful rest of your day, night, whenever you're watching this, and maybe I'll see you in future streams. So bye.